be honest, I never heard the term self-care until around 2019. It seems like self-care just took off and suddenly became something we all needed to prioritize. And I was all for it. I love the idea of setting time aside for relaxation, for treating myself, for taking some much welcome me time. So I started leaning into all the marketing, spending money I didn't really have on stuff, and pampering, all under the guise of treating myself in the name of self-care. The main thing I learned about self-care is that it's messy, and sometimes it doesn't need to cost any money at all. For me personally, self-care isn't about bath bombs, getting pampered at the spa, or hanging eucalyptus in the shower, although I did hear it smells nice. True self-care, as I've come to know it, stems from discipline. It's respecting yourself enough to do something you know is good for you, even when you don't feel like it. It's messy and unaesthetic, and not like those That Girl videos at all. So here's what my version of self-care looks like, and how I'm trying to make it a habit. And this video is sponsored by Yours Skincare, but more on them later. Here's one way that I practice my own self-care. And that's working out even when I don't feel like it. And you know, like, working out doesn't necessarily have to be going to the gym, lifting heavy weights, or even doing like a YouTube workout. Just getting moving, like getting up, taking a walk, getting fresh air, going on a hike, all of those things count. And for me, it's such a critical part of self-care that I think can be a little bit more romanticized than it needs to be, because I don't know about you, but I am a mess when I work out. I sweat, I turn tomato red. My hair never stays in place like some of these fitness influencers. It's not cute, but I always feel better after I get moving, even if it's just like a little bit of gentle stretching or mobility. I get a pretty serious case of the saddies when I neglect working out. But the sad part about the saddies is that whenever I start to feel overwhelmed or feel like I have too many deadlines, too much work to do, it's my working out and movement that gets sacrificed first. If you consciously make an effort, consciously make time for it, but somehow make it a non-negotiable, then I think you'll start to see over time just what a positive impact moving your body has on your physical health, but especially your mental health. So I'm gonna go do a Lily Sabri workout now. Okay, that was a good one. My next self-care habit is doing my skincare even when I don't feel like it. AKA if I'm a little too tired to take my makeup off that night. And this is where I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, Yours Skincare. So if you haven't heard of Yours Skincare, they are a personalized skincare brand that focuses on building a regimen that is completely personalized to your skin concerns, your lifestyle, and even your environment. So what you do is you go to their website and you can take their skin assessment quiz. It takes into account your stress levels, your diet, the city in which you live, and it even will take climate, humidity, and pollution levels into consideration when building your skincare routine. And the skin quiz is really in-depth. You can even upload a selfie and it will do sort of this automated skin analysis to even help find solutions to areas of concern like dryness, dehydration, hyperpigmentation. And all of the ingredients are sourced from Switzerland, are 100% clean, non-toxic, they are never tested on animals, and the packaging is even 100% recyclable, where they even go so far as to share exactly how to recycle the packaging on their website. So this is what my skin looks like without any makeup. I've been using Yours Skincare for about 2 weeks, and so far my skin is really happy. My skin is very sensitive, very reactive, and I think I look really glowy. I had a little breakout right here around my period, but I mean, pretty good. The serums I find do not have a scent, but both the Milky Way night cream and the Due Date moisturizer both do have some fragrance to them, and it's very sort of floral scented. So if you don't like that, just be advised. I would really love to see, given that yours is very personalized skincare, I would love to see a fragrance-free option for those of us who are more sensitive to fragrance. I will say my absolute favorite out of the line is the cleanser. This is just a joy to use. It is really nice and bouncy and fluffy. It foams really nice, and it doesn't strip my skin, and it doesn't sting my eyes, which I really appreciate. To me, it's really designed to make you want to wash your face and spend that time to get like all that gunk off. They also carry a sunscreen. It's like a really fine mist. What I really like about the sunscreen is that it does not burn my eyes off. And it's a really, really fine mist. As you can see, it leaves a nice dewy glow. And this is so nice to reapply over makeup, which is my favorite thing because you have to reapply your sunscreen. Oh yeah, and don't forget your hands. So all in all, I've actually really been enjoying using the Yours skincare regimen. It's really simple, easy, no fuss. It's minimized a lot of confusion in my own personal skincare routine, and I'm really happy with the results so far. So if you guys were interested in trying your very own personalized skincare routine, Yours Skincare is offering you guys a 15% discount if you use the code Christina, or check out the link in the description down below. So when my skin is not doing well and I'm not taking care of it, ultimately I start to feel bad about myself. And I think that's when I actually really start diving into this whole manufactured idea of self-care. Because when I feel good about my skin, I actually feel like I have the capacity and the energy to focus on the things that I actually care about. So it's not necessarily about what skincare you're using. It's about finding a regimen that you'll stick to, that you actually like. Self-care. Being comfortable in your own skin. Okay, I'm gonna do my makeup now. The next self-care habit that I'm really trying to learn is recognizing burnout. So I don't know about you, but recognizing when I need to slow down, take a step back, and start noticing that I'm feeling burnt out, and then actually doing something about it. I feel like that's one of the ultimate acts of self-care that you can do for yourself, because I've been burnt out more times than I'd like to admit this year. I think it's such a beneficial act of self-care that, by the way, costs nothing at all, because it's really all about your own self-awareness and recognizing your own limitations and sticking within those boundaries that you've created for yourself. Some of the things that I have found really helps when it comes to recognizing burnout and starting to step back and manage it is by setting hard stops and hard limits around the thing that's burning me out. So for example, I'm a full-time pharmacist and part-time YouTuber. I mean, I did start getting one extra day off a week, but I find I'm actually using that day more for resting and doing things that nourish me and fulfill me, like going to see my family and spending time with them, hanging out and going on dates with Jeff, maybe taking the time to like shave my legs or wash my hair. So sort of managing the expectations around the work that you think you should be doing or even want to be doing. Start listening to what your body needs and start managing your energy instead of your time. I like to think of that as a form of maintenance. And for me, that really comes from listening to your body, noticing how you're reacting to things, and even noticing the energy and the capacity you have to do a task. I think being able to recognize that and take a step back is a huge step in maintaining your own self-care. How much better is that? Aha, so I know you guys are gonna know what I'm gonna say next, and my favorite form of self-care is budgeting and tracking my spending. Please ignore the fact that there is a giant piece of hair in the middle of my face that I didn't notice the entire time. Thank you and enjoy. There's no shortage of videos on my channel that talk about how budgeting and committing to getting out of debt has changed my life. Not only has that changed my life in a monetary and financial sense, but I changed the way I treat myself, talk to myself, and I gained a new level of confidence that I just didn't know was there before. To me, no amount of massages, aromatherapy, mani-pedis, or glasses of wine in the bathtub will ever measure up to what budgeting and tracking my spending has provided for me. Because when you start tracking your finances, it's not necessarily about the money. It's about the behavior, the decisions, having the knowledge, facing the fears. It becomes so much more than just about the money. Going broke to treat yourself is not self-care. To me, whenever I treated myself, it ultimately ended up creating more stress that I wasn't really prepared to deal with later on. There were so many consequences that came from that treat that it never really was worth it in the end. So when I started to create a budget, make sacrifices, and for me personally committing to getting out of debt, it was the ultimate form of self-care because it became one of the ultimate forms of self-respect and respecting what my future self wanted, and that vision that I saw for myself, that was one of the main things that got me there. So without a doubt, budgeting has been the most powerful form of self-care for me. Here's the last one. Get off social media. Because here's the thing about social media. I think it really encourages us to not stay in our own lane. To be honest, I don't think we're really equipped mentally or even emotionally to deal with that amount of information all the time. And I think because social media is such a presence in most of our lives, creating boundaries around its usage is really important to maintain your own sense of sanity and especially your own self-care. That can look like taking a full day off of social media once a week. It can be setting a time limit on social media. It can be setting usage limits, like for example, only going on social media to post, not necessarily to scroll. It can be muting people's posts or stories or unfollowing people altogether. Ultimately, I notice when I feel the most unsure of myself, down on myself, and even spendy, like I want to start buying things and shopping and sort of derailing this whole mindset and lifestyle that I've set out for myself, is when I am spending more time than I need to on social media. I don't think anyone is immune from the powers of it. So if you're kind of like me and you notice that social media can often breed more feelings of discontent than otherwise, then setting boundaries and limitations around it and staying in your own lane when it comes to social media and comparing yourself is another form of self-care that I think anybody can benefit from. There's just too much going on here sometimes and you don't really need to know. So those are just a few of the ways that I like to practice my own self-care and what true, genuine self-care means to me. Some of it can cost money, most of it does not. It's really up to you. But these are the things that ultimately help me stay grounded, that help me take care of myself, and they're all what true self-care looks like to me. Thanks again to Your Skincare for sponsoring this video, and if you were interested in trying out your own personalized skincare routine, you can click the link in the description down below or use the code Christina to get 15% off. So let me know, what does self-care look like to you? Thanks so much for watching, guys, and if you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor and give me a thumbs up. It's a great way you can help support my channel. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. See you in the next one, guys. Bye.